Hello, my name is David Janssen. I am the CEO of Brucemore. This Veterans Day, I invite you to watch a short film from our artisan studio, From Iowa and Back, the Vietnam Era. Jeremy Glazier has been working for over 2 years on this documentary. It is his personal mission to capture the experiences and stories of these veterans before they are silenced by time. As a museum property of the National Trust for Historic Preservation and a leader in integrating arts, culture, and history, we share the urgency and the value of Jeremy's project. That's why Brucemore's Artisan Studio is working with Jeremy to fulfill his vision. The short film is a precursor to a feature-length documentary that will premiere March 29th, 2025, Vietnam Veterans Day. Thank you.
A lot of it back then was still a young man's opinion. It was his duty to serve the country.
Beginning in November 1955, with a small smattering of U.S. military advisors working in defense of South Vietnam, and culminating in April 30th, 1975, with the fall of South Vietnam, what is commonly referred to as the Vietnam War defined America for a generation. This is a story of one State of the Union's commitment and sacrifice to that war. The sons and daughters of Iowa. This is their story of that time, those places. Coming back and what it all means now. This is their story, their lives, in their own words. This film exists to capture their words and experiences, before tragically their voices are lost to us forever. With more than 500 veterans of that era passing each day, those times become something you might see in a history book or online somewhere, but it won't be them speaking. This film starts with why voices were silent, why it has taken almost 50 years for the survivors of that time to feel comfortable and confident in telling us what happened then.
The biggest thing that I have are the people who really said bad things about Vietnam. They didn't understand it. They didn't go there. They didn't lose a person or a friend or a family member during that. And so they have no such cognizance of what it was about.
It was a little bit different. You know, in those days, it seemed like we were kind of the bad guys instead of the good guys coming home from war, and it was just a little bit different to see what it was like when you got back home.
It was kind of being treated like bull crap, but we did our job. We thought we were doing the right thing. And I'll be quite honest, when I came back, I never said the word Vietnam for 10 years. I didn't. I mean, I was too busy thinking how I was going to be a millionaire.
It wasn't until probably 2012 that I ever heard the expression, welcome home. So, anyway, somewhat better now. We went into hiding after we got home.
Motivation was John Wayne. I saw the Sands of Iwo Jima, I don't know how many times, and I decided, that's it, I'm going to do it. I was 10 years old, by the way.
I was asked if I wanted to volunteer to go to Vietnam. Well, why not? I was single and looking for adventure, and I'd watched a lot of John Wayne movies, so I thought it'd be pretty cool. So away I went.
That's exactly right. Sign up, do it, do what I needed to do what I had to do, following John Wayne's footsteps.
And I also knew that this was going on, and this kind of eliminates any victim story of being over there, okay? I'm going to give you the accountable thing. Once I was in the Army, I knew what was going on. I knew in my heart I needed to be over there.
Well, the smells that you never get out of your head, smell of the latrines that they burn the crap, and the smell of popping smoke, which smells like sulfur, and the smell of death. And
the very first operation that I was on, I saw my first combat deaths occur, and they were kids, really. They were young Vietnamese soldiers. And then I went down and threw up. Because, I didn't get hit. I just, it just made me throw up. And
when we got to Dong Tam, we were met by somebody from the headquarters of the 709th Maintenance. There were like 5 of us guys. And they sent each of us to a different company. And I was supposed to go to headquarters company, and they screwed it up, and I ended up at Charlie company, and the other guy that was supposed to go to Charlie ended up at headquarters. He got killed. They went a couple months in, during a mortar barrage, they put one through the roof of the mess hall there, or mess tent, whatever you want to call it, and he got killed. And I thought to myself, that was supposed to be me.
There was a guy from Montana. He was a staff sergeant, should have known better. Found this ammo box floating in the water and pulled it out. And by the time I got there, he was all in a body bag except for one finger.
Then about 10 minutes later, another artillery round came in, and I was on top of the Amtrak, and I got hit with shrapnel. And it took me, laid me flat out on top of it. And I think I must have gotten a shock because I didn't realize what happened.
Then there was one time that I went out to work on this plane, and I opened up the back, and I was crawling up in the back of it, and I looked over, and there must have been, I don't know how many dead soldiers, but they were all lined up. They're all in white. And I thought, and their parents or family members are waiting for them to come home.
By the time I got back to Iowa City, my hair had grown out. And I didn't, I think I went 3 or 4 years after I got out before I got a haircut, after my Army haircuts. But I was fine. I didn't run into a lot of people. Not anybody much knew that I'd been in the Army or anything else. It was a pretty hectic time on campus right then. They had some riots. They burned the old armory. I think they even canceled class for a while at the end of one year after Kent State.
And it was a terrible waste of lives, but it wasn't our fault. So, we were just pawns. And why people don't understand that, people don't understand a lot of things, They go off with a little bit of knowledge and think they understand everything. And we find that today yet. And in reality, you better think things through before you start aggravating a situation to the point where you have to involve a number of individuals that somebody's going to get killed.
After being a young man and seeing death and seeing what war creates, you always hope that you never have another one. You don't want in my case, my grandsons to go to war and see what I saw, even though they may have to someday. But it seems to be so senseless a lot of times, the war.
In 2008, my wife and I went back to Vietnam. And I was contacted to go, and I thought, I really don't know if I want to do this or not. We talked about it, and I decided, no, I didn't want to go. And then a couple of weeks later, she said, well, if you really want me to go with you, I'll go with you. So, yeah. And that's probably where things started to come back in my memory. Through all of that, I pretty much didn't think much about it, even though I was still in the Marines. But going back there was probably the best things I'd ever done. I was maybe scared of how I would react to it, but my reaction was nothing.
And I'm sure your dad's not told everybody what went on. There's shit that, I know that nobody will ever know. That little thing in my head that tells you what's right and wrong to say, it's been kaput for a long time. No, but when you touch the wall, it's like they put a hand on it. There's just something goes on, okay?